Today, I'm going to show you how I became a millionaire by 30 years old. No trust funds, no rich family or friends, no lottery tickets, no magic shortcuts. I'm Tein, an investor and as well an entrepreneur and the guy behind Millennial wealth. It is truly more achievable than people think. I believe that a lot of it has to do with having the right mindset and as well having the right daily habits and as well having the right vehicle to be able to take you there. By definition, net worth is assets minus liabilities. For me, ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to become a millionaire. Not sure what the reason behind it was, but that's just always something that astonished me. And honestly, throughout the period, my journey growing up to becoming a millionaire, I had multiple instances on what you could say was maybe a wake-up call for me. Many instances where I was just working too hard and realizing that I was not getting ahead. I was just living paycheck to paycheck. And the last time where I felt really stuck was essentially when I went for a raise at my W-2 job when I was in the IT industry. That was really the last straw for me. Eventually, you'll want to make that change to where you stop trying to look rich and actually start trying to be rich. No more status spending. No more trying to impress others that don't matter. No more lifestyle creep. And that's when things started truly shifting for me. The first $100,000 is going to be the hardest. Everyone says it and they're right. Here's how I did it. I did it by aggressively increasing my active income versus going for that passive income. That's the one trap that a lot of people fall into, is they start chasing the passive income too early. But I think you need to really go ahead and generate as much active income as possible while cutting down some expenses. So I focused on learning more skills, whether it was tech, marketing, talking to people more and becoming a more effective communicator. But at that time, I just really needed to hone in on the tech as much as possible so this way I can get more certifications and get a raise. I needed to get better with marketing and as well people skills for the side jobs. Improving my career income, increasing my W-2 job essentially, taking opportunities others ignored. So anytime there was additional opportunities pop up during my W-2 job to make some extra income, I was there. Anytime there was some side hustles where I can make extra income, I was there. And just essentially saying yes to more responsibilities and no to things that didn't fit your goal of hitting that $100,000. Starting side hustles, Uber, Lyft, digital marketing, real estate agent, e-com. I did a bunch of side hustles. Income is the engine, and once mine went up, everything else just clicked. In 2018, I was making roughly around $49,000 to $52,000. This is when I was in the IT industry, and about 60 something thousand dollars in debt from everything from consumer debts such as car, vehicle loans, credit cards, also college, some small college student loan debt, and I was going in for a raise, and which I fought so hard for, and it was an additional $10,000. And this is, after spending countless hours trying to get more certs and things like that. So it always just felt like a hassle trying to go for these raises, right? And that really pushed me hard on these other side gigs. Through side gigs and as well my W-2 job, eventually I was able to hit my $100,000 income mark sometimes around 2019. But right after that time frame, me and my wife decided to move down here to Virginia for a fresh start. Throughout all those times, I lived below my means. Not forever, but just enough to stack capital for each goal. And there were definitely moments where I spent money on stupid things just like everybody else, but I never fully fell off the timeline of where I got distracted for an extended amount of period. The first 100,000 felt slow, but the next 900,000 came way faster. And here's the real breakdown of how I crossed the 1 million mark by 30. In 2020, I surpassed my first $200,000 in income from just real estate sales. And all of this was possible because of all the skills that I picked up along the ways from every job that I had. And as well, this allowed me to save up a good amount to where eventually we were able to buy our first rental property. We bought our first rental property here in Chesapeake, Virginia. This is back in 2020. And by 2021, once the market has been going crazy, I made close to about $700,000 in real estate sales and other additional income streams combined. And this allowed me to save up even more money. And I kept investing in rental properties. And I was also getting a ton of EXP stocks, being a former EXP agent. There was at one point where that stock was past the $100 mark. And my account at one point hit over $220,000 in just the stock alone, which till this day, I wish I had sold it and paid off my house at that time. By 2022, when I was 29, is when I eventually hit that millionaire net worth mark with real estate, stocks, and as well my high income. It was quite interesting that it was something that I've wanted for my entire life, right? Trying to hit that. But once I hit it, it didn't feel too drastic of a change because I was still working quite hard. It did give me a little breathing room though, knowing that as long as I don't do anything stupid with it, this should compound to a lot more. I invested early, but not perfectly. And just like everyone else, I wish I started earlier, but my time in the market paid off versus just trying to time the market. My biggest wealth builder is real estate. I didn't buy everything all at once, but it started small and eventually scaled up to 23 rental units or 14 properties here in Virginia. Real estate did three things for me. First is appreciation, second is cash flow, and as well third, tax benefits. And the big one is leverage. Being able to go buy a $300,000-$400,000 properties with zero down and then being able to own it as a long-term rental has been a huge game changer for me. Every deal wasn't perfect, but each one I learned something and moved on. Investing consistently is super key. I keep investing in myself and as well more real estate, index funds, retirement accounts, not hype, no day trading, no chasing trends, just boring, consistent investing. And throughout the ups and downs. So this way you have dollar cost averaging. Another key factor is knowing when to have multiple streams of income versus just focusing on that one income stream. In the beginning, I had a bunch of different income, but eventually I honed in on what was something that I really liked, which was real estate. And I just really focused on mastering that. I believe that most will hit the millionaire mark by mastering one thing versus having a bunch of multiple different income streams. And the reality is knowing how to do both and when to do it is super important, because for me, I had a bunch of different jobs in the beginning, but eventually once I discovered real estate sales, which is my vehicle to help get me there, I just focused on mastering that. And eventually once I mastered that, I started adding in more things that went along with it, and those eventually became my multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income will protect you, grow you, and as well build snowball wealth. Staying extremely disciplined is super important. The reality, I sacrificed a ton, and same with other millionaires that are out there. Less partying, less unnecessary buying, less trying to keep up with the Joneses or keep up with anyone. And the toughest part of it all is being away from your loved ones, so this way you can generate more income and as well build generational wealth. It wasn't sexy, but it worked. I want to be real here. Becoming a millionaire sounds exciting, but nobody talks about the sacrifice behind it. The long nights, the risks that you take on, all that stress, the self-doubt, failures, learning curves, losing money on deals, people thinking you're crazy, friends spending money that you don't spend. There's a part of the journey where you feel alone, but it teaches you discipline, focus, and confidence, things that money can't buy. If I had to sum up the millionaire journey for millennials, it comes down to this. First, your income matters more than anything. If you don't grow your income, nothing changes. Second is starting before you feel ready. Most people wait too long. Third, invest automatically. Your emotions will ruin your money. Automation saves it. Buy assets, not status. Rich people invest, broke people impress. The fifth, build something of your own. whether if it's a business, a side income, real estate, anything that gives you full control. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need to have insane luck. You need consistency, discipline, and a strategy that compounds over time. Becoming a millionaire by 30 wasn't magic. It was daily habits stacked over years. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. If you found this information valuable, hit that like button, as well comment down below any feedback, your thoughts, and as well, most importantly, please consider subscribing. This lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job and helps out with the algorithm. Thanks.